I got the notification when the calendar fixed. I got it set to where it'll pop up over everything else.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just go, is this Happy Wednesday or Sad Wednesday?
Well, soon that answer is just going to be yes.
Yeah, it'll be yes.
There you go.
All right, so we are live. Apologies, I did not get a chance to get the intro done, and I think officially I'm going to stop doing that just because, not because I don't like it.
Aww.
I think it's actually kind of cool, but when depending on what my schedule is going to look like here in the near future, anyways, it would be very problematic for me to get that done. So I might as well go ahead and just stop now. So. At any rate, let's go ahead and do a game recap so we can jump into game.
We did all the stuff. Yay. No,
We didn't die. Yay.
we managed to not die again. Okay, let's see. We found out at the beginning of the last game that Nasara and her son gave up their royal claim to the throne in order to remove the bounty on them. I'm going to skip over a lot of fluff. We end up, something I picked up last game was that Ashi is feeling connected to Nestos, and I felt very sad about that.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
So we go to a jungle planet. We meet with the scrappies of the 73rd Combat Engineering Corps. Get a little tour with them. They tell us they would like us to go scout a former mining planet and see if it's and gain control of it, or not the whole planet, but the facility, to see if it'll make a suitable base for their combat engineering crew. We go and we walk into the big hole, and that's about where we stopped.
Yep.
We have a droid named Hilltop with us from the engineering group, and Nasara happens to have some mining facility knowledge.
Indeed.
Cool.
Okay, so Dorn is remaining behind on the ship. He was squirted with a water bottle and grounded. So he referenced Tatooine one too many times, and you're just like, no, bad Dorn, bad, and put him back on the ship to think about his sandy adventures.
That sounds right.
Yeah, sounds about right. All right, so yes, we did leave off as you guys were walking down the mining shaft. There was some description there that didn't get caught up in the recap, but that's fine. It was just minor details. Just as a reminder, there is oxygen on this planet. However, it is slightly hazardous, so breath masks are advised. The whole planet does tend to carry a machine-like smell to it because of all the chemicals and whatnot. So the air is not fresh by any means. Perhaps slightly acidic over time, or just additional wear and tear. Not like you have to wear protective clothing. Breathing masks are what's essentially essential. The borehole that you guys are, this is just for Brittany, touching down in. There were the remains of some of the mining.
There was a variation of the phrase. I'm sorry, that doesn't count.
Touchdown. Okay, well, yeah, you touched down right outside the bore shaft. And there's obviously the remains of some of the mining facility that was here, like mining cart. There is a rail that goes down deeper in. There are doors that you can bypass, and I have done you one better. And if you turn your attention to the Discord channel, I'll go ahead and post that in there for Star Wars. Yeah, let's put it in notes just because. Here we go. Boop. Boom.
Okay.
It's a map. It's a map. It's a...
Heck yeah. So essentially, you guys are coming. You are entering into what is the. Never mind the fact it doesn't actually have a tunnel into that. You're actually coming into what is the initial central hub on the north end of the map.
Okay.
So as you the doors were left open, so it's not like you had to worry about that. The loader droid perhaps maybe pushed them open a little bit further, so that gave you guys more room, but there wasn't a whole lot to worry about. There is definitely some levels of corrosion and wear and tear on the doors from sandstorms that might blow in through, or dirt storms, but sandstorms that might blow in here. They've got scorch marks. There's faded Riddell Mining Corporation logos on most everything in here, clearly indicating it's been abandoned for some time. In the central hub itself, obviously there are dirt-covered low-tech signs. They planned ahead, and they didn't make, how like everything in the future is supposed to have like all these fancy monitors. No, these people went low-tech, and there are legit signs, metal signs that have got some corrosion around the edges and paint that show kind of where, what shaft goes to where, and what to expect. There are some warnings that indicate that the warnings appear to be newer, even though they do have some decay as well. It looks like the idea was when Riddell Mining Corporation was pulling out that some people posted up some signs for anybody else who decided to wander into here. And they're warning signs of like potential rock falling. These mining shafts are all abandoned. Basically, your typical legal jargon to absolve them of any potential issue should random people decide to go spelunking for some reason. There are some also, yeah. I forgot. 1 second. So you guys have entered in through the sloped tunnel, which is wide enough for mining carts or small vehicles, so it is decent size. We already talked about all that. There are partial metal framework remains, a few rusted rails that are still embedded that lead down in here, as well as further into the shafts on either side. There are faint traces of old mining traffic, but it's now covered in dust and debris. As you guys have gotten into the central hub, it was once a control and coordination center. You can see that, like off to the side, there was a station where people might control some of the lifts coming in and out. It's heavily corroded, doesn't appear to be of any use. And by the way, in case you didn't know, the Major 13 is Colin in the chat. So he's currently watching us and hanging out.
Got it.
There are, of course, already talked about the fact there are faded RMC signs and essentially a map along the wall that are very faded, still usable, but good luck. There is the remains of a central terminal here, which is very clearly non-functional anymore. There are a few crates, and there are some workbenches for those of you who are Fallout fans.
Nice.
And it does look like this particular area is sturdy enough that it could probably pose as a temporary command post or a staging area. Just keeping it in mind because you guys are scouting ahead to try and help the scrap bees.
Okay, what about, so is there any power, or are we still in flashlights?
No, you guys are still in flashlights. Good question.
Then let's try to find power.
then follow the conduit.
Okay. We follow
Let's
the
follow
conduit.
the conduit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a logical question. It's like, okay, no power, no power. So follow the conduit. It's gonna lead us to something important.
Yeah.
So obviously, it goes along the walls on either side. You can go either. I'm assuming, since I threw the map up, I'm assuming you're going to use the main map. But obviously, the shaft itself breaks off into two separate corridors, in essence. One going kind of southwest, the other one going directly south. So heading down to the next central hub that you've got down here. This looks like this was probably the actual command central for everything. Very similar machinery and whatnot in disarray, left behind, dirty and corroded. About the only person who would find anything of interest would probably be Indiana Jones, sort of thing. Like he would be right at home at this particular area, just like
It belongs in a museum.
right, exactly. Just these machines date back to.
Right.
But essentially, that's what you're looking at. Looking around, you still see that there is conduit obviously running around. This is the central hub, so there is a generator down here. But man, it looks like it was old when it was installed. But Montana, if you want to give it a once over,
Yeah, let's do that thing.
okay.
What do I need?
A hope and a prayer.
Not demolitions, right?
2-star, yes, definitely not. Well, I mean, if you think it's going to need that to start, that's a new way of looking at a swift kick, to the side of the panel.
Yeah.
Blow it up. Let's take a look at the character sheets real quick. Boom. Okay, so I'm going to have to look at the skills because I keep forgetting that Star Wars character sheets don't have everything laid out for you. You have to write it in.
Right.
Let's see.
I don't care for that. Here we go. Okay. We are going to want.
Fix old stuff. Is that a skill?
I'm sure that could be a specialty.
There you go.
Fixing outdated equipment. Where are we at? Come on. Trying to find
Skill names like that belong to the human-occupied landfill role-playing game.
Oh yeah. There's a throwback to a game that never took off really. Okay, so here is our list. What do we want? Too bad they didn't have just a basic tech skill. I mean, they have the technology ability, which, given this, would probably need to fall back on. Equipment engineering would certainly help. Equipment repair, there we go.
Is that a thing?
Yep.
Yep, it's under tech.
Technical skill.
Oh, well, that's good. It's better than a mechanical skill for me.
Yeah.
So you can certainly, obviously, you are woefully inept at dealing with this type of machinery, but you have technical ability and knowledge, so you could certainly take a look at it from that perspective. I'll allow that.
Okay, I'm just rolling base technical then.
Yeah, that's fine.
12.
Okay, and 12 puts us firmly into moderate, I believe, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Sure does. Smack dab in the middle. Okay. So looking at what you've got here, like when you pull it open, it's like, and I know you've seen some of these before. You're in IT, so you had to have. It's like when that person says, "Oh, I've got a computer," and there's a sheen of dust on it, and you're just like, "Oh God, I don't want to open it up." And when you open it up, it's like cobwebs and everything just like come out of it along with the electric. Like it's one of those things. Like you pull up the panel and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, like there's just dust and just garbage coming out of it. It's possible you might be able to get this thing running again, but it's going to need essentially a power source to jumpstart it for you to even try it.
Do I have to leave the power source plugged in?
Yeah.
Ah. I was going to use T4 to jump it, but not if I have to leave him here.
Oh yeah, that would suck.
So you're saying we need a power source to run the power source?
Yeah.
To start it, essentially, yes.
Like a starter motor.
All right.
What are you thinking, Montan? Can you get it running?
Unless somebody's got a handy battery or some other power source I can wire into this thing just to ignite it.
So at that point,
I
Hilltop
have
says,
spare power packs for my blasters.
yeah. At that point, Hilltop is like, certainly, sir. Mr. Jarris is recommending true. You might be able to jury rig some blaster packs.
Let's try it.
So how many do you have, Jarris?
Well,
I've got-
I've got
Go ahead.
one each for my blasters and my staff. That leaves me. How many did I put in my inventory?
Ooh.
5.
You have a powered staff?
Yep. Yep.
Good gamble.
If I recall, it's similar to the ones that the droids used in episode 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. Nice.
Poke it.
Oh. So something to keep in mind, Jarris. That means when those packs are out, you're out of bullets. So you're going to want to pick up more, just like regular clips.
I mean, I'll volunteer mine. Nobody's relying on me for a shootout.
Okay, sure. So at that point, Hilltop walks over to one of the corridors that leads to other shafts, and he just posts up on guard, drawing his blaster. Montan, give it a check. You are going to need to get into the difficult category. If you would like to spend character points, you can. Before you roll, obviously.
Yeah. Hang on. I don't have that many, and it's not mathematically advantageous to do so.
Do you have any force points?
No.
Well, shoot.
He is not force sensitive.
I've had one this whole game, and I used it on a prisoner transfer.
That's right.
Wait a minute. No, T4 is not better than me. Okay. I guess we'll just roll it. It'll either work or it won't. We got flashlights.
Okay.
Huzzah!
Ooh, re-rolled at 6 too. if you want.
Colin is bestowing Monten the title King of the Clankers.
18.
18. All right. So you take a second, clean off some of the wires to make sure you got some positive leads, setting it up as safe as possible. And you've got everything connected to the blaster pack at this point. It looks like it may work. It could blow up.
Okay.
It's just a matter of flipping the switch and seeing what happens.
Flip it. Maybe I should have my armored droid flip it.
Yeah, if at all possible.
You flip it. Push this button.
Okay, so you turn it on, and you see the like all blaster packs have like a light on it to let you know that it's fully charged or it's needs a charge. If it doesn't have a light on, then it's completely dead, obviously. And you see that light dim significantly, and then you see a bunch of sparks start coming off of the generator, and then sparking off of the control panel from some of the other machines that it's connected to, as power starts generating into connections that aren't connected correctly anymore. So it's causing sparking coming off of the other machines. But you see that some of the readouts and the lights on the generator start it starts giving kind of an amber glow as you see a little panel kind of light up that has that what were they called? It was monochrome monitor.
Yeah.
Like way back in the day when it was just amber looking.
All right. Let's go see if we can get anything out of it, like a map.
Well, this is just a generator, so
Okay. I thought.
yeah, it's just kind of giving like a readout of like it's warnings about power fluctuations. It's not fully charged, so on and so forth. But you start to see some of the lights in the area, what lights that are actually still working. Start to kick on, and now you have obviously the mine is nowhere near as dark as it was before. It's still semi-dark, as some of the lights are coming on at a low wattage, basically.
Are there any terminals that are lighting up?
Yeah. To some of the yeah, they're also sparking.
Huh. Doesn't look like we're going to get much info from those terminals. What do you think we can do about that?
Well, I was hoping to find a map of this network down here.
Oh, right away, Montaigne, sir. And he just takes his iron fist and slams it on one of the metal signs, shaking off a bunch of dirt. He says, "It's a bit hard to read, but I do believe it reads true."
How did I not give T4 a holographic projector yet? Dang it. All right, well, I mean, I'll check out the map. I'll tell T4 to memorize the map too, but
Okay.
hey guys, we have map.
All right.
I'll take a picture of it with my data pad.
Okay.
So then right now, if we're looking at the map you showed us, are we in the middle central hub area right now?
Yes.
Okay.
And of course, you can see all the shafts that are in the area on that particular map.
Right. Okay.
Anything that's listed as abandoned obviously does not say abandoned on the map you're looking at. It just says that it's an equipment bay.
Okay.
They wrote it on the way out. Abandoned.
I know, right? Yeah. They're just like,
We're done here. Well, wait.
So
What do you say, guys? Do we just walk around and?
Well, first I have to ask, what are we going to do with, should we encounter the people or creatures that we encounter here? Because now they know we're here.
That's a good point. Lights being on all of a sudden.
Nasara
Well.
pulls her blaster and sets it to stun.
Well, Hilltop, do we expect separatist droids to be in this area?
So he kind of looks around and he says, respectfully, sir, I ain't detecting any. Permission to set me blaster to kill.
I take it that would be more effective than trying to stun them.
Affirmative, sir. Their armor plating would no doubt take up stunning.
Okay. Everybody, for this mission, go ahead and set them to lethal. He even pulls out his blaster and sets it to lethal.
I pull out how many people we got. So I have several restraining bolts. I have 4 on my sheet, so I'll keep 2. Who else wants one? Because if it's droids we're worried about, if we can get these things on them, they stop attacking us.
I suppose I could take one.
I'll take one too.
And I'm sure the guys who are hoping to take over this place would rather have repurposed droids than scrap metal.
Yeah, if at all possible. That was part of the mission parameters. As many of them we can bring to our side. I wonder if they would be acting autonomously or if they would be like networked together. Is there any way for us to know what kind of tactical prowess they've got?
Permission to speak, sir.
Of course.
I would be detecting if any tactical droids were about.
Okay.
Should there be any active, I'm detecting none currently, sir.
All right. Do you know what your effective range of detecting them would be?
It would be a mite bit obscured being down here in these tunnels, but definitely within the active parameters, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep that in mind then. But of course, if we have to destroy them, if there's no way to get a bolt on them, we got to defend ourselves. So it'll be secondary trying to grab these guys. But for now, we've got to find out if we can actually take control of this facility. If the, let's see, if the main way, the central hub didn't have that much in the way of controlling things, we could head down to that equipment bay to at least see if there's anything salvageable there.
Yeah.
From the looks of the time that's passed since they were in use, any droids that had programming for guarding or security or whatnot have had the opportunity to develop personalities beyond the scope of their programming.
That's a good point.
If
Right.
they are still active, that is indeed correct.
This place doesn't have any power. They would have run out of juice at some point.
Maybe. Unless there's a secondary power supply or station or somewhere we don't know about.
Well, I mean, they could have, they could have shut off and maintained their power. But if they were, in order for them to wake up when we come around, they would have to have some power being used for a low-level scan. And judging by the rust around here, even a low-level power, I think, would have depleted by now.
Okay. It seems like right now we're at least moderately safe from them, but just in case they had to trick up their robotic sleeve, everyone make sure to stay aware. Hilltop, of course, inform us if you detect anything out of the ordinary, especially one of those.
So he snaps a salute and he says, of course, sir. I will keep me nose sharp as a tack.
All right. And it'd be object to headed to the equipment bay first.
We've got to start somewhere.
All right. Let's do it. So that's where we'll head.
Okay. So you head to the large one first, kind of going down. Most of the lights down here don't work. There are like there are three. So there's a little bit of ambient light, and you can faintly see the door that's kind of left ajar to the main equipment bay. When you enter, it looks like somebody who was in the process of quickly packing up their home and just left stuff, and so something fell over or there was garbage. Like it just so it's not like strewn about like people went through here and rummaged, but there's crap left around because when they were leaving, stuff may have fell and they just didn't bother to pick it up. So there is obviously, much like the rest of the area, there is a good bit of dust and dirt in here. It looks like this equipment room or equipment bay was once used for vehicle and droid maintenance. So you can see some rigs in here that were older rigs, obviously, and very rusted, that were used for that sort of thing. There are several skeletons of RMC loader droids. There are some tools and a half disassembled mining sled. There are oil stains and old battery packs in here. Some that have obviously leaked. They've been down here for so long, so they're probably of no use. And there are some wall lockers in here.
Some wall what?
Lockers.
Oh, Dad, I found my room.
All right. Hilltop, would you mind opening each of those lockers for us?
No, affirmative, sir. So he walks over and he just twists on the lock and just snaps the ones that are off. And he just starts kind of looking through here and he says, and then he just like shuts one of them and kind of looks away.
What did you see?
It was profane, sir.
Like an image of a naked person, you mean, or?
I fear I not be offending the ladies upon the mission, but that is affirmative, sir. It was highly inappropriate.
Well, beyond that, did you find anything useful in there?
There appears to be some lantern hard hats that might be of service, and there was one aged Ruddell Mining Corporation jumpsuit, should any be needing it. It might be a bit too big for Montan, but it may be of proper size for the rest of you.
Those hard hats could be helpful, especially if those lights on them still work. Let's grab those and distribute those amongst those of us without helmets. And Montan, you want that jumpsuit, or you think that would actually be useful in a place like this?
Well, some of us could use the helmets, not all of us. Some of us have
I was
pointy.
just thinking that.
Yeah.
Oddly shaped heads.
Oddly shaped heads.
I mean, if you can wear it, great. If you can't, of course.
I mean, is there a strap on it? Maybe just kind of perch
most helmets, like for example, Ashi would probably be out of luck. But most helmets can fit most alien species because even Twi'leks have a similar human style head, even though they've got the tentacles coming back, so it might sit a little askance, but it would still fit. And you could, attach the strap.
I mean, I suppose it's worth a try. Just wear it at a jaunty angle.
There, yep.
I'll put one on the
Green Beret
on the
helmet.
droid. And myself.
And what's that?
Said I'm gonna put one on the lifter droid, so we have another lantern walking around.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'll take one myself.
Okay. So the cells in these actually do light up. So the the lights will actually work.
Nice.
They're not super bright, but if you get enough of them in an area all at once, it does help significantly with the illumination.
Okay.
If nobody objects, I think I would wear the jumpsuit just in case having an employee of this facility would come in handy.
Right.
Excellent idea, my lord.
Oh, you could talk us out of any trouble?
There you go.
That's my thinking.
Not a bad idea.
I like it. Go for it.
It's really kind of out of style and doesn't go with my cloak, but we'll make it work.
I like it. All right. Well, let's see if there's anything else that's in here or in those lockers that's useful for this mission. Doesn't seem like we can really pick up anything, and a lot of it is still in disrepair, but there's more for us to find. So whatever we can use here, let's pick it up and then keep going.
Do any of the repulsor sleds look like they might be serviceable?
Yeah, there's only one in here, and it's half disassembled. So if you got the rest of the parts and cleaned it up, it could probably be turned into a serviceable sled. It just nobody has them right now. So
Nothing's going to be done with it right now.
yeah, future project, if so inclined.
So then, if that's pretty much all we can find, we've got the helmets now, nothing else to pick up, then let's see, that spot on the map that also says abandoned equipment bay, even though it shows like a shaft, is that like a shaft that heads into a different equipment bay? No,
okay.
Unfortunately,
when you go back, because it's just around the corner, when you go back there was an equipment bay at one point in time.
Ah, okay.
Like you can see the signage and everything, and like part of it kind of just hanging off into the shaft. Like that whole area gave way.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Well, nothing there. So, how about we just keep looking at all of the tunnels that head to places of interest until we find something actually interesting. So let's see. And then he like looks to the group and he's like, "Tell me something we'd like to find that you'd expect to find in a mining facility." I know that sounds weird, but bear with me. Give me something to think about.
Carts.
Mining carts. Okay.
Mining equipment. That generator couldn't have been the only power source for the entire mine. So power source somewhere.
Conveyor belts.
Conveyor belts. Okay.
Elevators.
Or
Well, yeah. Okay. That makes sense if it's deeper in.
Question, sir.
Go for it.
Permission to speak freely.
Permission granted.
I would like to free me brothers, if there are some here present, sir.
So then looking for any active droids that are in the facility.
Affirmative.
Okay. All right. Give me a second. And so you see him just kind of, looks like he's focusing on something. His head is down. And he is going to use the Jedi power of direction sense. It allows the Jedi to be guided by the Force toward a particular goal or destination. Could be an object of importance or a location. It does not sense life forms. It could even provide guidance through a maze-like cavern. Let's see. So it's also going to be, it's easy, but then modified by proximity. And proximity. Okay. So Jerome, would this facility extend to up to like a few kilometers? Is it like a really huge facility, or would it be smaller than that? Because the range determines how much more difficult this will be.
Well, you don't really know, so
Okay.
I would say try and roll high.
Okay. Gotcha. Let's see here. So go for that, and we'll just compare. Oops. Bring it up. Sense roll. $14. So it starts off at easy, which is 6. So if the thing was up to 10 kilometers away, I'd be able to detect its general direction from where we're at right now. And he's looking for active droids, other than the ones that are right here, of course.
Yeah, I found three.
You said 10 kilometers, right?
Up to 10, yeah.
Woo! That's a lot of feet.
2 more on the top.
Yeah.
On the tip.
And then let me do this. One sec. I'm just working with the metrics here. Oh, yeah. That's a good bit of range there you got on you.
Right.
I was converting it to yards.
Yeah.
So that's what 100 yards for a football field. Yeah, that's a lot of football fields all scaled into one. Okay, so you at first you push out the sensory of the obvious, the droids that are around you.
Yeah.
Is that what you're focusing on, or just trying to detect droids?
Yeah, any active droids beyond where we're at now.
Okay. And as you push your senses forward, this is actually the first time you've used this really in a grand scale.
Right.
So you're kind of adjusting to it as well. You end up detecting 2.
I think there's 2 of them, at least 2 I can sense. And can I tell generally like what corridor we should be going down to like start headed that way?
Yes, actually, the service tunnel.
Okay. He's like,
You get a sense that if you go through the service tunnel, you are on the right path.
okay. We should head through the service tunnel. That's at least going to lead us closer to them. Everyone ready?
Do I still have permission to speak freely, sir?
For the entirety of this mission, you have that permission.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Do you have some sort of magnetic sense? How you be picking up on droids so far away?
It's a special type of sense that I picked up over the years. We'll leave it at that.
Ah, you're a Jedi, so you are. You forget, I fought your kind.
It's true. It's true. Good memory circuits on you. I won't deny it. I'd appreciate it if you kept that to yourself as much as possible, though, Hilltop.
Affirmative. Committing that to my command banks.
Excellent.
So he takes a moment, pulls out his clip, wraps it on his helmet real quick, pops it back into place on his blaster rifle, loads it, gets it ready, and then starts marching forward.
Yep. All right. Yep. Follow him headed to the service tunnel.
Okay. So you guys fall down to the service tunnel. The now obviously, unlike the rest of the dugout shafts, which look very much like a mine. This particular service tunnel going down, was specifically designed. It has like Durasteel walls, which are, of course, scuffed and rusty and whatnot. But the idea here was that certain parts of this tunnel needed to be made safe and secure for emergency services. They didn't want the whole thing to utterly collapse. Ideally, it would have been safer to make at least one full shaft that went all the way from the central hub and then out. But clearly, these guys were operating on a thin margin, so they kept some of that to budget cuts. But as you advance forward through the service shaft or service tunnel, here we go. So it is sort of narrow. You could still fit a vehicle through here, but there's no turning. It's like you're not going to walk on either side. It's stay in front of it or stay behind it. It's kind of tight. And welcome, Paul McGinn. Somebody in the chat saying he played a hybridist version of this game, so I've been playing it over 15 years.
Nice.
Yes, Star Wars West End was probably one of the best things that they ever made. So the corridors, of course, they've got that sturdy Durasteel look to them. There are non-functioning status panels that you can see. That some of it kind of just hanging out, lifeless. None of it sparking, so it doesn't look like there's any sort of energy coming down into here. There's also a sealed bulkhead at the bottom here, clearly marked with Red Owl Mining Corporation and old logo. And it's sealed, does not appear to be powered. This is going to be a bit of a problem to get through.
Okay. Montan, you think your lifter can crack this thing open?
One way to find out.
Roll them bones.
Don't suppose this account is lifting, would it?
No.
Turns out it's not a 10 strength, it's a 7 strength. But still,
it-
oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh, with a 1. Oof.
With 2 1s. Just to add insult to injury.
Okay, yeah. So so your loader droid comes up, looks at it, and like reach down at the bottom to try and lift and then realizes, okay, it can't do that. It doesn't lift, it slides. So grabs a hold of it and kind of like magnetically grabs a hold and starts pulling, and then you see like one of the arms snap off. So it's hanging there by it's not completely off, but it's like hanging there by sinew of circuitry and so like it's spitting some oil and whatnot. And Hilltop is like, "Oh no, man down!"
Uncan is like, "Oh no." Dang.
Hurry before it bleeds to death.
Well, okay, now we have 2 choices. I can fix this guy and we can try it again. Or, I don't know, maybe we could try to blow the door up. Or if we had something really hot that could cut through it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think he's hinting at your Jedi nature, sir.
Yeah,
You wouldn't happen to have one of those laser swords.
Ashi just looks at Drade and nods. She'll pull
You want to
out her
do it,
light-
or should I?
We both can. It'll go faster.
Good point.
So she pulls out her lightsaber.
Okay, so as you pull that out, Hilltop knocks on the door real quick, testing it, and he taps on his nose again, and he says, "Oh, those be refashioned blaster doors." capital ship grade, sir. You wouldn't be able to blast through them with the standard compounds found on our persons. So perhaps their blazing hilt things might work.
Okay.
Yep.
Your light foils.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm working on my droid, by the way, while they're doing
Sure.
that.
Yeah. Go ahead and make your roll. I'm already assuming you back up and a little bit to give them room and start
Yeah.
working on getting the arm reattached.
So do we have to roll our lightsabers to do this?
No,
Okay.
not unless
We're
you're
not
trying
fighting
to.
something.
Yeah, not unless you're trying to fancy spin your way into it. You're just rolling damage.
Okay.
Yeah, so 5d of damage.
Okay.
Before you
Montan, do you have a
go too
reroll?
far,
I do.
Alexa, stop.
how close were those droids that you sensed? Like, are they on the other side of that door?
I would keep the direction sense up. So, do they feel extremely close at this point, or are they still further away, Jerome?
You sense that they're still further away.
Okay.
And
We're not
also,
rush-
you would also note that if they were nearby, Hilltop might be able to pick up on them.
Right. And so he's like, yeah,
Ooh.
I'm not feeling him that close. And also Hilltop, he's got those sensors too. So when we're at least close, he should pick them up. We should be fine.
Because I would like to point out that we keep referring to them as separatists. So
Right.
they may still remember, similar to what Hilltop is referenced insofar as their experience with your
That's a fair
equipment.
point. Right. We'll only pull these out if absolutely necessary, like right now. Good thinking though. So yeah, we go ahead and slice it on up. Should we be rolling damage then?
Yeah, just damage.
Yep. I got 20.
Yep.
22.
So it's slow going. And you guys have seen what this looks like from episode
Mhm.
1. The Jedi slam that into a blast door that is shut. It's and you
Yep.
see it starting to melt and kind of come apart along the sides as you slowly kind of lift that up and cut through. So by the time Montan finishes, you guys have basically you've cut a wedge that then just kind of falls forward, or not falls, but falls back with a very loud thump onto the dirt floor. And of course, there is no light in there outside of what is being provided by you guys.
All right. Extinguishes the saber, puts that away, and then
Yeah.
looks
same.
over. It's like, all right, is Lifty good to go, or does he need more work?
I think he's good. I got a heroic roll technically on the
Oh
reroll.
yeah.
Cool.
So-
You are definitely going to want to give him a once over when you get back on the ship. But since you're not really going to be doing anything crazy with him, yeah, he's good to go.
All right, let's keep going.
All right, so you at this point you have no maps to operate off of, but the look of this particular level is very similar to the one you just came off of.
Okay.
There are many of the holes down here. They're just all drill shafts. There's like there are metal tracks that lay across the ground. But obviously people with, that's for like larger loads, but they have, they would have had hover platforms in here, or repulsor lift, I should say, to bring in, to quickly bring in and out loads. There are two directions you can go. There is a sign down here that does indicate. Oops. Oh, that's what it was. I grabbed the wrong one. Okay, hold on one second.
This is in the lower tunnels?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to grab. I grabbed the wrong map. So come on. Or did I? No, I got the right one. Okay, cool. I had to double check that. Alrighty. Yeah, so it splits off into two different directions. If you're looking at just if you're visualizing, you can go off to the what would be east or south. It looks like there was a sign on the wall at one point, very similar to what you saw above on the upper level. This thing has been trampled on and bent up and rusted and dirty, so it's largely illegible. When you shine your light down the route going south, it looks like maybe there are more mining shafts down that way. Like there's one kind of main corridor and then branches off as it goes forward, but it's hard to tell because obviously your light can't go all the way down. It's the first impression you pick up of it. Off to the east, maybe 20 yards down, your light kind of shines. You can faintly pick up another metal door.
Does my direction sense give any hint as to which direction might be better?
Not which direction's better. Neither direction is directly taking you where you want to go.
Okay. And so at that point, he's like, yeah, I don't have an exact bead on which way to go, but either one is at least going to get us closer. So we can at least check out what's behind that metal door to see if there's something of use behind there. Probably not the droids, because that's, 20-ish yards away, and we'd be picking them up by now. Any objections?
Nope.
All right. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go east to that metal door.
Okay, so you guys walk down that way. It is very clearly marked with another faded corporate logo, RMC. The door hasn't been opened in quite some time. There's dirt all over it and at the base of it. But as you approach the door, Hilltop kind of holds up his hand and does one of these numbers real quick, just basically just a hand gesture quietly to have the whole group stop.
Right.
And then he turns and he taps his nose again and he says, "I'd be picking up some signals, sir."
Are you finding them in that room behind that door?
Not directly, but it appears we're on the right direction.
Okay. All right. Everybody be ready. Weapons and all of that. Try to take up positions behind the loader droid if you can for cover, just in case. Hilltop, if you're able to open that door, go for it.
So he looks for a second, he taps the door, and he looks, and of course there's no power to the console here, and he looks at the lettering on the door, and then he slams his body into it, the door, and he says, "It's quite stiff, sir. Perhaps we have our loader droid make a valiant second effort."
He's got another arm.
All right. Have at it.
Okay. So Montan orders loader droid to march up there. Hilltop takes a second, taps him on the back, and he says, "You've got this, brother."
Oh, jeez. 25.
Okay. So this isn't a blast door. This is just a locked human-sized metal door. So he takes a moment, gets a hold of it, and then and you can hear and see it start to bend under its the strength of this loader droid, and then with a swift movement as it finally gets just this loud screeching sound as it almost ripped it off its hinges and just forcibly put it up against the rock wall.
Excellent.
Peek in.
Yeah.
And as you come through here, 1 second. So as you come into here, this is what appears to be another storage room. This was more strictly for mining equipment, as well as replacement parts, likely for some of the lifters, repulsor lifts that would have helped bring the mining equipment in and out. You do see that there's a box of rebreathers in here, obviously for people who need to work in lower levels and potential gas. Not that you guys need it, but it's something salvageable.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well just keep those on hand.
Yeah.
I'll examine them first to make sure that they're good.
Okay, why don't you give me a first aid check?
Oh, maybe I will hand them over to someone with first aid skill to look them
Would
over.
you like to roll tech?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm going to hand them to Jarrus. Can you tell if these are still good?
I'll check. Can I tell if they're still good? I mean,
You can use first aid or since I know you have it, you have medicine, correct?
yes.
Yeah, you could use either of those.
Well, is it a first aid rollable skill?
Yes.
Because then I can add the medicine to it. Let's see here. So that would give me 7.
Nice.
And get
Ooh,
Woohoo.
all this for rebreathers.
so 32 total.
Okay.
Nice.
So you give them a thorough once over. You've examined their the filters themselves. Obviously, a tech would be better to do this, but since it's medically related as well, yeah. Is there air? You don't know.
Oh yeah.
Seems good to me. Such a great movie. My goodness. I need to go back and watch it again. Anyways, but yes, you have done a thorough check. You've checked, and one of the nice things about these rebreathers that unless they are they're put in like a horrible environment, like dunked in water or something and just kept there, they have expiration dates and they last like a long time. From the time of use. So yeah, you give it a thorough check. They're good.
As
Side note.
far as I can tell, the filters look clean. They seem to be serviceable. I would say these would work as intended.
Are we talking about the ones they had in Phantom Menace, just the mouth bar?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there 5 of them?
No, there's actually it's a pack of 10.
Perfect.
All right. Well, can I put the pack in my pack?
You absolutely can.
All right.
They're not terribly big, so it's it's a smallish Amazon package at that point.
Nice.
I was going to say, side note, does anybody watch Suits LA?
I've started it, yeah.
This week's episode had a fun Easter egg.
I'm not there.
Apropos apropos to our current discussion.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah. Anyway.
You said there were repulsor lifts in here?
There had been, yes.
Oh, okay.
There are not currently. It looks like that this was primarily storage for the mining operation itself, not
All
just
right.
like vehicles or droids. You do find two, which are essentially like sonic jacks, that are used to break up rubble and ore and whatnot for transport, essentially for mining. They are going to need to be recharged, but they are usable as well.
When you say mining jacks, are these like the Star Wars equivalent of the standard New York jackhammer?
Yep.
So not just something we're throwing in our pocket.
Oh no, yes. Size wise, that is very comparable, with the exception of the vibration comes from sonic waves that it sends off, in a low proximity to break things up, as opposed to, an actual metal wedge that drives into the ground.
Nice.
Yeah, but not easy to carry, stash in your pocket loot. So
That is correct.
we'll note that this equipment is here.
Right.
I would like to use my data pad to snap a couple of pictures of the company logo on the signs.
Okay.
And start working up a forgery of a document detailing reclassification of the mine and establishing new security protocols and passwords with a new password. We'll just do an alphanumeric type thing.
Okay. That's going to take about a half hour if you want to just hang out there in the and just wait. But totally doable.
Yeah, I figure we got some time while people are checking things out, so I'll kind of work on it as we go.
Okay. Go ahead and give it a roll.
So 14.
14 puts you at moderate. Okay. So you are in the process of getting that done, and by the time you are done, of course, everybody just kind of, after they were looking or sitting around waiting, you are reasonably certain that this is going to fool the layperson. It looks pretty official.
Yep, so we'll just keep that handy on the data pad.
Okay.
Nice. All right. And so then looking at Hilltop, Drade's like, so you were detecting your brethren nearby. Are they within this area? It seemed like you were detecting them as we were approaching the room.
Negative. They are not currently within the confines of the storage room. But he taps his nose again and he says, but I'm detecting something coming from that way. And he just points randomly at the wall, at one of the walls.
Okay. Okay. And does it look like there's any like type of passage that's blocked off right there, or it's just literally over there? Okay. Okay.
Did
like-
the map that we got at the entrance extend down this far?
No.
Has there been another map on the wall anywhere?
There was. You guys, I detailed that when you first got down here.
Yeah, that was the one.
It's
that was on
thrashed
that,
and corroded.
Okay. All right. Well, now we know they're in this area. Good to know. Okay. Well, let's head back out. Can't really pick up much more in here. So let's head down the southern corridor. Looked like there are more shafts in that area. So we make our way that way.
Okay. So, as you basically turn around and walk back out and back down the shafts, you can tell that perhaps some seismic activity has happened here over time. Most of the shafts that are down here, they are in a good bit of disrepair. That it has collapsed to some. Most of them almost completely collapsed. They were very clearly digging like fiends down here and stripping whatever vein that they found to its core. But as you and you basically go down like 4 sets of shafts that kind of go off to either side where they were working, a vein or whatever have you. And as you get to a certain point, Hilltop kind of peeks up again and looks around and he says, "Sir, I am detecting the emanations once again. They be coming from one of these shafts."
Got it. So he walks up and he's approaching each individual shaft to see if his direction sense he still has up, like, gives him a sense of like which shaft makes the most sense to go down.
Okay, so if you can mentally picture this, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, so kind of like almost like a rib cage effect of veins that kind of come off as
Gotcha.
they've done it on the third one down to the what would essentially be the east if you're lining everything up north, south, east, west. You're picking up something that direction.
So he stops in front of one of the shafts and he's like, "This way. Should be this way." All right. Everyone be prepared. We head down that shaft.
Okay, so as you walk down, this one hasn't totally collapsed. It does have some like rock off to the side that you have to kind of climb over a bit. It has taken some damage from the age, but then what you end up seeing is a smaller hole that's about crawl sized that continues going down. The loader droid will not fit. Neither will T4.
Well, it looks like we need to go this way. No droids, Montan. Sorry about that.
Thanks for telling me they won't fit in the hole. Is the crawl space big enough for all of us?
Not all at once, but yes, you could get on your hands and knees and crawl through.
I
Yeah.
wonder if this is about to be a hey, send the small guy.
Well, let's see. So, with my sense, does it feel like they're very close if we were to finish going through that crawl space, or would they still be
You're
a
closer.
ways away?
Mhm.
Closer, okay. So it goes, we are getting closer to him. I'm not sure exactly how far, but we're in the right direction. So we can go about this 2 ways. We can only go single file down this crawl space until we get back out someplace we can actually stand. So the person who goes first might be the one who has to deal with whatever's on the other side. If that happens to be the droids, we could either have Hilltop go first, or we could have Jarrus go first, because he put forth the effort to wear the suit, make the documentation. Maybe if they're there, he can say, "Hey, we're one of the good guys trying to reconnect."
Maybe send Hilltop first with Jarrus behind him, and then we follow in behind.
Could do that.
I volunteer, sir.
All right. Sounds good. Then so far, at least the first and second in this line, we're going to have Hilltop and then Jarrus. I'll
And,
go ahead and...
Not to interrupt, Brittany, we've been having some signal issues with you, so I don't know if you can hear me or not. You may want to restart and come back or something, because I don't actually see you in the room
I do.
on the director's side.
Mm.
And doesn't look like she heard me at all.
Yeah, she just
Yep.
said lost her own.
I'll bring up the rear.
Okay. Then I'll be third. And then we'll have G Lee and then Montan. And last is Ashi. Let's head out.
Okay, so he gets down. So he's not super bulky to begin with. He's a B1 battle droid.
Right.
So he gets down. He slings his blaster rifle and then gets down on his his arms and knees. It starts kind of going and you can hear him kind of clanking as he goes. Can you see everybody now?
I see 5 people,
Okay, so hopefully
Should be right.
but not dead people.
okay, good. Dead people would be bad, especially right about now.
Unless something happened in the 2 minutes I was gone.
Negative. Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Does feeling dead count?
Oh no.
Okay.
So I'll let Hilltop get a couple of feet ahead, and then Jarrus will crawl in as well, using the staff to probe ahead of him to make sure he's not finding anything he shouldn't find with his hand.
Okay.
Tripwires, holes, walls,
Hmm.
mines.
That somehow Hilltop would miss?
Well, he's a droid. If droids are setting traps or something for non-droids,
Oh.
Okay, sure.
they've been known to be sneaky.
So he, gets out. You hear him kind of come out of the tunnel you guys have to crawl through, and you hear him clank as he hits what sounds like a metal flooring.
A metal what?
Metal flooring.
Oh,
Is this the first indication of non-dirt flooring we've encountered?
Yes. Well, with the exception of the Durasteel hallway that you guys just came through, yeah.
Okay.
So as you're climbing through, Hilltop is kind of looking back and forth and pacing just a little bit. Of course, Jarrus eventually comes through, as all of you come through, it's not big. You can't walk side by side, but it's not so constrictive that you can't pull something out or turn around. It's not like you have to walk sideways or whatnot. But it is a skinnier hallway than what you've seen before. And it seems to run kind of north-south a little bit. It looks like maybe at one point in time there was lighting in here, obviously not on. And as you turn and look with your lamps and whatnot, it looks as if this hole may have accidentally broken through into this hallway.
so wait a minute. There's an underground facility here, and it's not attached to the mining situation we just left.
Well, it could be, but it could be just connected somewhere else we didn't look yet.
Well, okay, but it doesn't look that way. I mean, it looks like, I don't know, it looks like there was something built into this hill, or it's not even a hill, just built down here, that the mining operation didn't know about. Because otherwise they would have just connected hallways. Like we would have been able to walk in here, or we would have seen like some scree where it blocked off the entrance to this place, but it didn't. It looked like they were just randomly mining stuff, and here we found a fully constructed hallway.
That's a good point. Well, let's see if we can find any signage around here. Looks like it's in slightly better repair. Maybe give us a clue.
Yeah, it doesn't have any. Well, I mean, it has a little bit, obviously, the dirt right around where you're at, but nothing quite like what you guys have experienced. Like what Montan was saying, it does look like it's, this, at least the theory right now is holding up that somehow this got discovered by a breach in a shaft.
I wonder if this is why they left.
And so Hilltop is looking around and he says, "We be in a service tunnel. Me nose detects a ventilation system nearby."
Wait, is it active?
The ventilation? Of
Is
course,
there-
sir.
Is there air pumping through, is what I mean.
Not so much pumping as flowing, sir.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let's walk.
Okay. Which direction?
So north or south? Can we see with the lights that we've got? Oh, are there any lights on in this hallway?
No.
No. Okay.
You can see that there are fixtures that would run in through here, and since he said it was a service tunnel, yeah, there would be some dim lighting, very common, which actually give me Ashi and Drade. You guys could roll for basic knowledge, or you could roll for probably have to say planetary systems.
Okay. All right. Yep, do have that. Go ahead and roll.
$12.
14.
Okay, so the way the hallway is designed, or at least like the running lights and whatnot, is very reminiscent of the Trade Federation.
Huh.
Interesting. Do you recognize this trade?
It seems like the shape, the architecture, it's like what you'd see in Trade Federation facilities and ships.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Okay. Well, pieces are falling into place here.
We
Got to be careful.
should really continue with extreme caution.
Right.
But I mean, wouldn't that make sense? As this was a separatist mine, weren't the Trade Federation the overall creators of the separatist movement?
Jerome, would we know if the Rydell Mining Corporation had any connection to the separatist movement?
You could roll cultures.
Yeah.
Do that.
And Mike, if you're going to be typing, you might want to mute yourself.
I thought I was being soft about it.
No, it's okay. Just letting you know.
10.
Dumb.
11.
All righty. I don't think. Yeah, 10 is easy. 11 is moderate. So that 1 point does kind of count.
Yeah.
So Ashi, no, actually, the Trade Federation was just one part of the Confederated Independent Systems movement. They were certainly, a sizable chunk, but they weren't necessarily the main ones.
And she'll convey that.
Oh, and this, there's no knowledge that this planet was ever belonged to the Separatists.
Okay. Well, I see where you're going, Jairus, but I mean, based on what Ashi just let us know here, I don't know. This seems out of place. It is kind of strange. Wouldn't have expected this, really.
Well, I'm certainly agree that the construction is strange, but I mean, weren't Trade Federation separatists, so that would go together, right, with a separatist mine. I mean,
No, what
Well, it
what I
wasn't a
was get-
separatist mine.
yeah, that out of character. That's what I was getting at. It's not a separatist mine.
The Rydell
But we've all-
Corporation didn't have like a direct connection to them. It's not like they were hand in hand. So,
but we've been out of game. We've been referring to this as a separatist mine in game the whole time, right? Separatist droid, separatist mine. Um,
Not to my knowledge, no. If you guys were inferring that, no. It's never been a separatist mine. The thought, the rumor process that you got last game was that there may be some sort of separatist facility on the planet, but they didn't have any way of confirming. This was a confirmation to try and scout out the planet for a possible base of operations for the scrappies.
okay, I had combined the mine and the possible separatists
Yeah.
as that's what we were going
Which
for. Okay.
which in character is not terribly hard to do. Considering a lot of Elrude has been independent, but yeah, they didn't really have a side per se in the arm in that armed conflict.
so it seems like whatever rumors that we were hearing before about a facility like this, we've got evidence now. So we've got to find out how to power this place up. It's going to be different from the mine, obviously.
Well, which way do we go?
Let's see. So looking like, north and south, still with his direction sense, does either of those lead closer to the
It's the
active
same
droids?
kind of thing. Like
Okay.
it's one or the other. Like if you could pass through the rock, that would probably be the fastest way, but you can't. So
Okay.
it's half a dozen of one, six of another sort of thing.
So he just kind of like does one of these things at like the wall they're next to, and he's like, they're actually more like that way. So north or south, either way would be good. How far can we see north and south? Do we see ends to this shaft that we're in? Right
No, it's totally dark, so it just goes to the distance of your light.
now? Okay. Well, I'd rather we not split up. So how about we just start north, and if that gets us nowhere, we'll backtrack and go south.
Jerome, before they take off, I would like to do danger sense.
Okay.
Put that up. Yeah, good idea.
Go ahead and roll. And Shelly, make sure you mark down that Colin gave you a reroll.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, nice.
3D plus 1. Eight.
That is not gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna
do
reroll.
it.
Let's try it one more time.
Okay.
Well, 10.
It says that you need, for danger sense, it says that you need a moderate or the attacker's control roll if they're like
Right.
force
So
sensitive.
so at this point you're a little flustered. You don't have a whole lot of information to work off of. You're still kind of new to the whole tapping into the force and detecting, potential danger, and nothing's coming up.
Okay.
Yep, those auto tracking security turrets are not dangerous at all.
Yeah, not at all.
They're for our security. Oh, wait a second.
They're your friend.
Yeah, so we'll just head north first.
Okay. So Hilltop walks in front, and keeps his blaster rifle out and is just walking away, and he stops for a second, and he looks at Drade and Ashi to make sure that they've put away the lightsabers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He hasn't been
Yeah,
carrying
long time
lightsaber.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
long time ago.
So he was just making sure. So he
Yeah.
steps forward, and as you guys are kind of walking the walking through the service tunnel, you eventually come up to a door.
What kind of door?
It just a typical metal door. It's got a control panel there. A lot cleaner than what you're used to seeing. It's a little dusty, but no power. So
Okay. Well, we can either try to shunt some power into the panel and then open it up if you think that would work, Montana, or we just destroy this door like the other one.
Montana has muted himself.
He's talking to himself.
Anyway,
For my last email.
do doors work in such a way that we could hook up a power supply and get it to open?
No, not necessarily.
All right. Well, I have a good security. Can I figure out a way to get through here?
You could give it a shot. Why don't you give a roll? See what you come up with.
$21.
Okay. So if somebody has a blaster pack or some sort of power cell or something they can hook up to it, you might be able to bypass it enough to pull it off.
That's what I was just asking.
I know.
Okay.
You were asking specifically, can you actually do that? Not necessarily is why I was saying.
Yeah.
You, however, have the skill to rewire it to make that attempt.
Okay, well then let's try to do that.
Okay.
My one blaster, I used the pack on that initial generator. So
Right, which is still upstairs. So somebody's going to have to cough one up.
I've got one. He hands it over to you.
Okay.
Just plug your lightsaber into the socket here.
And it just blows up the door.
Yeah.
Well, got it.
All right, what are we rolling for this?
You are going to be rolling. See, again, I wish I had a basic tech skill in this. Let's see.
I mean, it's a form of lockpicking, right?
Yes.
Which would be security.
Yes. So we'll so first let's get you to roll your tech to get it set up, and then you can just security your way through.
All right. Well, here's the tech roll. 15.
Okay, that's good enough. You at this point, the power pack has energized the pad. Clearly, it's not hooked up to the rest of the system, so there's no way you could key code something in, but
Right.
it's active.
And then it's ironic. I have an electronic lockpicking kit, but it's not useful here. All right. Security roll. 22.
Nice.
Sweet.
So at that point, once everything is active, you look at it, you're like, oh, and you just kind of reconnect a wire real quick, and it just goes, because it doesn't have power to open the door, it just goes, chick. So now you can just kind of wedge a finger in there and pull it across.
All right. Ta-da!
Nicely done.
Which you get the sense that this is not the first time Montana's worked his way through a door.
Yeah. That didn't take you very long. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hide my stuff better.
It's where my stash of
Interesting
Twinkies went.
Oddly enough, and you guys probably won't run into this, I did recently make an NPC that had a Twinkie fetish. So,
Funny.
Kind of what?
a Twinkie fetish.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Like within the past week, I just recently did create that. So it's funny that he brought that up.
Sweet.
So you open it up, and you're in a room. So obviously, since it's not gaping, your light hits the ambient light hits the walls, and you can see around. The room isn't so much wide as it is deep, and you can see that there are storage racks in here primarily. Storage racks have like several boxes, a piece in there. Some of which looks like they're missing, like maybe some of them may have been used, but it's about half full in here.
What's in the box?
Yeah. So if I open the box, what do I see?
You see a head.
Ah,
No.
What kind of head?
Dun dun
way too close
dun.
for-
I thought he was
Is it a
serious.
horse? Is it
Is
a
it a
horse
droid
head?
head?
I was
a
hoping it
droid
was
head?
going to be a droid head, but I thought he was serious.
Drunken head.
Is this a Godfather situation?
Yeah, I know.
Well, the whole "what's in the box" thing is 7.
Yeah.
and
Oh, that too. Yeah.
that had a head in the box.
Mhm. No, so when you first open it up, the first box you open up, you see an arm. Specifically a
Is it a
B1
horse
droid
arm?
arm.
Okay,
A B1 arm.
Uh-huh.
you got to be specific. It's not like
No, I hadn't finished. But you can see it actually has the shrink wrap on it.
Hey,
Oh.
Montan, this might interest you.
Hey, it's an arm.
Yeah.
I don't think Marco's going to need it. But
Happy birthday.
Yep. So
Merry
I'm
Christmas.
Hilltop sees that and he's looking at the barcodes and he's like, these are all replacement parts.
Huh.
I'll go looking through all the boxes, see if we can, see if there's a full droid's worth.
Yeah, there's enough to put together essentially 3 B1 battle droids.
Okay.
Oh, we have battle droids. We could
How are
use
we going to
those.
get him back with us?
We don't necessarily need to take these back. We just need to see what's here and collect what we can, and then we inform the scrap bees of what's here. Because ultimately, if they want to move here, they'll just pick it all up when they're here.
I guess that makes sense. We don't need to take, everything back with us. This is kind of what they're about.
Hey guys, we scouted your base, but we looted it for anything of value.
Yeah, they might not look kindly on that.
Although on the other hand, I've been wanting a battle droid this entire campaign.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we gave it the Skyrim treatment. We found you a new place, but we looted everything that's in it, including the sweet cakes that were just randomly on the table.
Hey, that's how I
Come
play.
on. Take everything.
I'm sure we could get at least one battle droid.
Do we want to
Well,
work on
let's-
carrying that with us right now, or come back to this?
No, let's explore, and we know this is here now. We've got it. We've been recording our path, so we can find it again.
Okay.
And there is a door that leads out of here. It is on the east wall.
Going up to that door, do I get a sense that we're closer or
Oh, yeah.
farther from? We're closer. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Going through here will get us even closer, guys.
Okay.
Is this a door we're going to have to security open as well?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it just,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Hilltop has already walked over to go get the blaster pack at this point.
Right.
And he hands it back to Montan. He says, "Work your magic, sir."
Let's see. Tech roll 12. Security roll 19.
Okay. So same thing. It's not quite as glorious, but he's able to rehook everything back up. Lights up the control panel. Does a little bit of creative rewiring again, and it pops open. So at this point, Hilltop sticks his hands in there, shoves it open. But he motions for everybody to stay back at this point because it's clear you guys are in a separatist facility. When you, as he looks around on the inside, this is a much larger room, and it looks like this particular room may have doubled up as I don't want to say a laboratory, a machinist shop. And you can see that there are several tables that are in here. They're in slight disrepair and have seen some heavy usage at one point. There are tools left out laying around. They're aged, but they're still usable, specifically for working on droids. And as he looks around, you end up hearing some clicking on the floor, as if it's approaching, and then the door, the door at the opposite end of the room, so the south end at this point, slides open, and it's another B1 battle droid. And he looks at Hilltop and he says, "Halt! Identify yourself." He's like, "I be Hilltop." And so he kind of looks and he says, "That's a peculiar name." And so they start having this bit of dialogue, but Hilltop's able to figure out how to basically communicate with him. And he mutters, like, essentially under his breath, even though he doesn't have breath. He's like, "They not be connected to a central processing unit such as a tactical droid." And so,
Screech. Okay.
and so he looks to the droid and he says, "Where be your commander?" And he says, and he kind of turns and he looks around a second, like trying to make heads or tails of that. And he says, "I don't have one currently, sir." And so he says, "Well, you should be saluting me, or I am your superior." And he just shows like a colored stripe, like that still remained on his shoulder. And he's like, "Aye, aye, sir." And he snaps a salute.
Roger, Roger.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Roger, Roger.
I love them. They're my favorites.
And so Hilltop's like, "Where be the rest of your crew or platoon?" And he looks around and he says, "Most of them are deactivated, sir." He says, "Most of them. We have a commando unit that's up and ready to go. We'll bring him forward."
Oh, I don't know.
And so he turns and he's like, snaps another salute. "Roger, Roger." And turns and goes walking back in there. And you see if you've seen it's the BX commando units. They look like a beefier version of the B1s. And sometimes they have a little bit of a different loadout, like vibro blades or like built-in blasters on their forearms. They're not like the big tank battle droids. So the BX,
Nice.
the BX commando droids are actually pretty cool.
BX.
Yeah.
BX.
I just pasted it in the Discord.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to see.
Woohoo. Yeah, all right then.
Yeah, and again, they have.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They
yeah,
often
yeah.
have different paint for, like, because they're treated like commandos, they have some different loadouts, like different paint styles and whatnot, and obviously a little bit more skilled. And so it comes marching forward from further inside. And Hilltop like approaches, and it ends up saying something. It's like, "Who are you?" "I am your commander. You should be saluting me, so you should." And so the commando droid at this point like looks around, looks at the other B1. The B1 just shrugs. It doesn't know. It's just like, and he tells the commando, is like, "He has sergeant stripes." And so the commando kind of stands at attention and salutes. And so he looks to the two and he says, "Present arms." And so they snap to attention. They pull out their weapons and hold them. And so then he motions the rest of you to come forward.
All right.
And the B1 droid is looking around. He's like, "Well, who are they?" And he says, They be compatriots, so they are. Don't you know Red L Mining Corporation when you say it? And of course, they both kind of look at each other and shrug. It's like, you're the boss. Roger, Roger.
So that door opened. Did it open electronically?
Yes.
Okay. Does this room have power?
It looks like it may, but everything here is running on efficiency mode. You don't see like any like ambient lights coming, from the sides or anything. In fact, the only light you saw was coming from that little data pad next to the door.
Hilltop, can you have them turn on some lights in here?
So he turns and looks at them and he says, "Get to it! The man asked for lighting." Roger, Roger. So the battle droid, marches off real quick and then, turns. You hear like the laboring of like a generator starting to kick on, and then lights start powering up. And so Hilltop is essentially looking over his people at this point for an inspection, keeping them preoccupied.
All right. Well, as soon as we get consoles, I'm going to try to pull up a facilities map.
Okay. So what you end up finding, and I'm going to post this up in here, in the notes section as well.
Something beeped. Okay, there we go.
Yep. So you'll note the service tunnel that you came up through, and then the area that doesn't have a name tag to it. That's the shelving unit area you guys just came through. You guys are in that one area. It's not a command center; it's a machinist shop. The command center is below that.
Okay.
Okay, so we're like between the word service tunnel and droid assembly line.
No, you're at the they labeled it as a command center, but it's not. That top one there is a machinist shop.
Okay.
Okay.
That's where. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the one south of that is the actual command center.
Okay. Well, it seems like where we should head. That's going to have everything we need. Assuming it has power.
Well, it appears to.
All right.
Yeah, let's go there.
So we head to the command center.
Assembly line.
Okay, so as you guys are walking towards the down, get into that hall that leads to the command center. The B1 the B1 droid's like, sir, your friends have not been cleared for this. They might meet trouble. And he says, "Speak up, Private. What do you mean?" And he says, "There are automated turrets down there, sir."
We'll shut them off.
And so he turns and he looks at the B1 droid at that point as if the B1 droid needed to be told. And she's like, "Roger, Roger." And so he goes running down the hallway to go try to figure that out.
So is there any indication that this is, Rydell Mining facility property?
None. The markings on the wall and everything here are the CIS, the Confederate Systems Separatists.
I'm still like, once those guns are off, I want to see the front door. Like, there was an entrance into this place independent of the mines.
So you get down to the eventually you get down. It takes a bit. You eventually get down to the command center, and it's not huge. It's it's what you would expect. It's got kind of like a raised platform in the very middle with control panels kind of coming around, that very Star Wars look that you see like in the Death Star at certain shots and whatnot. And then it's got a couple of seats on the outer rim of that particular control circle for droids to plug in or to monitor progress for something. Most of the equipment down here looks aged and a little dirty, but serviceable. And most of it's starting to light up at this point. although there's a warning light showing on one of the panels. And Hilltop looks over and then he turns and looks and he says, "There's only about 10% power left, sir."
10% of what does that give us?
And so he looks and he says, "I can estimate at about an hour's worth of time."
Boy. Would it be common knowledge what an installation like this runs on? Like what kind of fuel to bring?
Yeah. Yeah.
All I can think of is our dilithium crystals. Wrong universe.
Yeah, that's not something Star Wars was very big on, obviously, on talking about fuel sources. But yes, you would know, because it would have been from that era. So I mean, you guys could figure that out pretty easily.
Can I call up what type of power source generator it's running on?
Yeah.
Okay, so I get
Yeah,
those.
I mean, all you have to do is just ask one of the droids because you don't have system access. You haven't sliced into it, but yeah, the B1 droid could walk over and pull that up for you, no problem.
Okay.
The commando
right,
just
guys.
continues to stand at attention, and every so often, like Hilltop will shoot him a look.
Well, we're here to assume control of the facility. I'm saying this to you guys.
Yeah.
So I guess we just hack in and
If we can get as much information as possible and make sure that we can actually assume control, or that they can when they arrive here, if they choose to actually take it, we'd probably want to know if there are any more active droids, just to make sure we don't run into any surprises. And then, like you said, we'd want to know actually how to get from here to outside without having to use the mine shaft.
speaking of which, Jerry, I'm looking at this. Where we left our droids, is that like that third drill shaft's
Yep.
bubble?
Mm-hmm.
Can we communicate with them and give them directions to get in here?
Well, now that you have, yes and no, they don't know how to access this place from the storage room.
Okay, because can I communicate with does my comlink work to reach the droids?
Yes.
Okay. Hilltop, can we get 2 units to go retrieve T4 and Marco?
And so he turns and looks at the, at the commando droid at this point. And he says, "How many units do we have online?" And so it looks sharply at Hilltop, concerned, because Hilltop for some reason has like a whole lot of authority the way he's speaking to it. And the commando droid says, "Negative, sir. We are the only 2 active."
Well, send 1 then.
And so he turns and he looks, and the commando droid kind of looks at Montan, then looks at Hilltop, and he says, "Well, don't make me spell it out. Get a move on. Move. And so immediately snaps at, another salute and Roger, and then goes running out of the room.
All right, I'm communicating to the droids. We're sending a B1 battle unit to come escort you to us. Please follow this droid.
Okay, so yeah. And basically, what you guys end up finding out. Long story short, obviously, you don't have to role play this part out. But from that machinist shop, there was a doorway that led into what you see the storage area at the north end of that map. The way the map for the this facility had that listed is that was basically like a part of a cave. So, and they had that door kind of sealed it off. So it looks like at some point in time, maybe Red Elm Mining Company burrowed into that area and didn't recognize the fact that there was a door. So when the commando droid comes back, they tell you that your droids tell you that they had to uncover the door.
All right.
So essentially now it's got like a direct link, and they can come down and meet you in the command center. Where it says ventilation access tunnel, that's where it actually accesses the surface.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Well, let's plug in my little hacking machine and get some system access.
Right.
So go ahead and roll.
I was trying to figure out where Discord was. It had a map. That's where it was. $24
Okay.
on the first roll.
So you're in.
All right. Well, let's change access. Let's change command access codes to something we can use.
So, real quick, where are we?
You're in the command center.
Okay, thank you.
Looking for anything about the. You said there's only one active commando droid.
Yeah.
All right.
One B1 battle droid and one BX commando.
I'm looking up any policies and procedures about changing ownership of the facility.
Okay. So when you pull that up, because you got system access, it is some corporate legalese you have never seen before. Like you're looking at that and you're like, wow, that's some gobbledygook.
I'm not even worried about that. I'm looking more for like setting the auto turrets, threat recognition, changing the command instructions of the commando of all the battle droids.
Okay, go ahead.
Sort of thing.
Go ahead and give another roll.
$30.
Yeah, no problem.
I should give him more points in this.
Jeez.
Yeah, no problem. So so T4 is able to get that set up, basically deactivating, the turrets at this point in time for defense, and putting in different levels of recognition with logos inset so that they know what to watch for.
So, Drade,
Yeah.
it's ours.
Fantastic.
Should we wait here for them?
Well, we've got to let them know.
Right.
So that's the point. We figured everything out. Does this place have any type of transmitter? Otherwise, we'll just have to head back to our ship and
It does.
relay the message.
It does.
Wasn't Hilltop our communication with the? I almost called them the CBs.
I think he held the secret frequencies.
Yeah, we've got a secure channel that we can use. That's what I asked for. So we can use that as long as we're inputting that, whatever transmitter we've got. If this place has one, might as well use it. Well, depending on how much power we've got.
That's why I'm trying to do this quick.
Right. Okay, well, you can go ahead and let them know that we have assumed control. The active droids are also under our control and following Hilltop's orders. Minimal power, so they need to bring fuel, but we have access directly to it, and it also has access to the mine shaft, so we'll need further instructions what they want us to do.
Okay. So Hilltop relays that, using the systems on board, and that is where we're going to go ahead and stop for the evening. Mission was a success. You guys managed to not run into any of the pitfalls that were in there.
They said automated turrets. I'm like, wait a minute. Have these guys shut it off.
Yeah.
I'm not built for dodging lasers.
Right.
The laser. We need. So we've
ill-tempered.
already done XP for the month. We need to do role play votes here.
Hmm.
Okay, so starting with Dale.
Gotta go with Montan for all of the hack and work and droid work. That's critical.
Okay. Shelly.
Yep, Montan.
Okay. Mike.
Matt, for coming up with original stuff to do.
Okay. Which he still has that on hand in case you guys end up needing something for some reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Brittany.
Also, Montan.
Okay.
In his element.
And Matt.
I really think it should go to Hilltop, but yeah, Montana has done the heavy lifting tonight with all the different aspects of getting the job done. So we'll go there.
Okay. Fantastic. So, Montan, you have the RP vote. You got 2 character
Hey, thank
points
you
for that.
guys.
So, congrats.
Well deserved.
So our next game is coming up this Friday, Mythic Savannah at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. So tune in to check that out. Our World of Darkness mixed game. And then on Saturday, we have Marvel Superheroes Modern Age Heroes. So
Yay!
that starts at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we don't have anything next week. We're probably not going to have anything to fill that time slot until the 16th of April, which we will be bringing out Survivor's Dawn, which is a new game based on a different premise that we have everybody involved in. So be looking forward to checking that out. It should be fun. It's going to be different. People are going to be a little out of their element. And I suspect when people figure out where the game is actually taking place, there's for some people who know, it may be an oh shoot moment, or like what Sam Beckett used to say in Quantum Leap. Oh boy.
Yeah.
See my hat? See my hat? I'm the supervisor.
So
Yeah.
So thank you guys all for hanging out with us, for tuning in for the first time, for following, and of course checking us out on replays. And we will catch you again next time. Good night, guys.